former England fast bowler Steve Harmison joined John Norman on the following on Ashes inquest to look back on day 3 of the third Ashes test.
Post-mortem, an inquest.
Yeah, that's true. And he did chat about Brendan McCullum, the coach's future.
Because he's not a sort of technical coach, he's more of a mentor. I mean, when England are when some of these players are in trouble, technically, I just don't see how he helps out. I really don't. And like I said before, when England have been successful, have been under deep thinkers. McCullum's not a deep thinker. You know, he's a maverick, and we are run by maverick. He's a maverick. Stokes is a maverick. Brooks a maverick. All of a sudden, you've got the one that they're listening to the most is the biggest maverick. Now, are we good enough to play this way? Well, we are, like Malcolm said, against New Zealand and Pakistan and people like that. We're not against India. We're not against Australia, especially in their own back gardens. And I think that is something that needs to be looked at straight away. You know, there will be changes. There will be calls for heads. I don't think we've got a coach. I think McCullum would have been a very, very good mentor and a very, very good sort of, not assistant coach, but somebody being around there. But for somebody to keep the wheels on when things aren't going so right, and somebody to keep people grounded, and somebody to respect the game and understand the game. When we're playing against India in India or against India, Australia at home, then I think that's where I think we've fallen short when it comes to the leadership of this team.
He wasn't there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's Steve Harmison there.
The only thing I'd say is we played much better against India. That was a great series, and we could have won it. And we didn't. We drew it, and you don't mind because it was great competitive cricket. This has been a complete disaster for cricket. It's been a washout. I mean, apart from the most rabid Australian, I can't think anybody's got any pleasure out of this series. I haven't, not 1 second.
Well, no, but you know, you are not a rabid.
You know, I like the cricket. I like sport to be competitive, not just a sort of thrashing every time.
Well, they are leading by 356 runs. Let's chat to the former Aussie cricketer, Brad Hogg. Hi, Brad.
How you going, guys? It sounds pretty miserable over there for you lot.
Yes, it isn't a lot of fun at the moment.
Well, it's not fun. It's horrible. It's just terrible. It's not even worth watching, really.
Yeah, my expectation will be trying to bat just after lunch tomorrow. Make sure that they've got the opportunity to utilise 2 new balls if they have to. We saw that Archer and Stokes batted really well out the back end of England's first innings there, but it's just been disappointing all round. You know, on a perspective here from Australia, we wanted a close contest. We wanted that entertainment factor. And look, I'm still praying that England can turn things around and get competitive and challenge Australia and draw this Test match. If not, get over and win it, just to make that competitive edge, because we need it in Test cricket for it to survive and to move on.
I agree with that. That is the problem with this series. But they won't make 150 in the second innings. They won't. Yeah. They're feeble. They're mentally feeble. You know, so scoreboard pressure will just do them completely. Apart from Stokes and Archer, the rest of them, they might as well go home. They might as well come home now. They're so poor. Absolutely.
Brad, have you been surprised? I mean, look, there was an expectation this could happen. You've seen, Baz call it Bazball still. Have you seen examples of it? Were you fearful going into this that it just wasn't going to work in this situation against Australia as they are?
No, I really thought that England were going to challenge Australia, especially when we had 2 injuries to our frontline bowlers in Cummins and Hazelwood. Also, we didn't really know what our top 6 was going to be at the start of the series as well. So we're still undecided in that aspect. So there was a lot of things going on that weren't in Australia's favour. And England just seemed as though, that they were ripe for the pickings here. They had a good team. But I was listening to Steve Harmison just before I came on, and I totally agree with him. I think you've got to have different types of leaders that help each other out, but also complement each other and also challenge each other. You can't have people with the same thinking. And I think there does need to be a little bit of more discipline there. And it just hasn't shown. And I go back to the second Test match. When you got a batsman that's just letting a fast bowler that's bowled 25 overs chase the ball down to the fence when the batsman was actually closer to it, it just seems to show that there's no team harmony there. And they're the 1%ers that you look at.
Yeah. The spin bowling thing has been a joke. I mean, they've groomed Bashir to bowl in this game for 2 years, and then they don't pick him. They pick a bloke who never bowls virtually, in red ball cricket, and they've got Jack Leach, who could take wickets in second innings, hold an end up in the first innings, and they just rejected him. He's the best spinner in England. Everybody knows that. But because of their stupid ideas and their stupid ideology, they left him out. And they're getting what they deserve now. They are. It's really, really, it's come home to roost.
And you do feel like Nathan Lyon is going to make hay, isn't he, on the final day on that wicket?
Yeah, I think so. I think Nathan Lyon's a quality bowler, and he's shown it. He's the second leading bowler or wicket taker in Australia now, so that just shows his true quality. They brought Bashir over. They haven't even played him in the first 3 Test matches. That just shows that they still don't trust him, and they've picked him out of nowhere as well. You've got to have someone with that experience. Jack Leach, I really agree with you in that aspect. If he's not getting wickets, he can still hold an end up and give the bowlers, the fast bowlers, a bit of a rest out the back end. You don't even have Stokes bowling out the present moment. You could just see the pressure that he's trying to hold England together. And then Archer wasn't quick in this second innings because he had to make those runs as well. And batting and then having to come out and bowl 150 plus is not an easy task.
And if heads are going to roll after this, you imagine maybe Brendan McCullum goes just on the white ball side and someone else comes in for the red ball. And maybe
I wouldn't bother with him in that. He's proved absolutely useless as a white ball coach. What's the point? Get rid of him. Seriously. Don't bother with this guy. It's enough now with him, really. Because his attitude and his whole approach is completely ridiculous, I think.
Those comments, you're going back to the comments about, if anything, we over-prepared.
Anything he said and anything we've done has been a disaster. It was fun at first against inferior opposition, but when it really came to it, not really.
Sorry, Brad, carry on.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with that as well. What sort of coach do you want? How's that coach going to react with the players? I think, they're the big questions that you've got to ask. Do you go with someone like a Justin Langer, who was very good for the Australian team for 3 or 4 years? Then the players wanted a bit of a different direction. Now, are the ECB prepared to have someone like Justin Langer come in and change the attitude within the playing group and just put a spanner in the works and try and turn things around very quickly?
I think the feeling of if there is a sort of bloodletting that the skipper should be exempt from all of that. Ben Stokes is still a very important player for England, and if he wants to keep playing, then hopefully he'll stay as skipper.
Yeah, definitely. I really like the way that Ben Stokes goes about his business. If there's one player around the world that I'd love to play under, it's Ben Stokes, because he just puts his whole heart and effort into it. And he just gives everything to the team with both bat and ball. They've just got to get the right person to be able to complement Ben Stokes. But Ben's probably got to give it a little bit of a leeway to the new coach as well, and allow that coach to add the discipline that might be needed in that England team, and just take a little bit step back and control things out on the field, but not so much off the pitch.
Brad, good to talk to you. Enjoy tomorrow. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much, guys, and hopefully England could turn it around just for that competition that we need over here.
Indeed. Yeah, there we are. This Brad Hogg, the former Aussie all-rounder.
The ECB are culpable as well, because they've sold their soul to the 100. They give the whole of August, which would be a good time for spin bowlers to play, and relegated county cricket to a time in the beginning of the season when only seamers can do.
Graham Swan was talking about that on the telly earlier on. Yeah, that's true.
But they've done it now, and they've sold their souls. So what are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, you'll be kept in touch overnight on Extra Time here on talkSPORT and with the boxing as well. And there'll be the full Ashes inquest after day 4. The following on podcast with Steve Harmison and John Norman. And you can follow everything on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel as well.